Onegashimasu, welcome back to the Goju Ryu Karate Center. The last video we did some concepts or themes that would create corrections for katas from Geksarechi up until Seiyunchin kata. If you haven't watched that video, I would suggest watching that video before moving on to this next set of videos. We're going to carry on with the themes, and I'm going to work on the assumption that you've watched the previous video so you have that constant idea. I may repeat myself and bring some of those themes in and just refer to them as the theme from Geksarechi or Ni, so on and so forth. Check on some of the stuff that we're talking about. Number one, kata needs to be slower with more emphasis on finishing each and every single movement. That doesn't necessarily mean that the movements are slow. It means that sometimes the transition from move to move is a little bit more paced, a little bit more gradual, with a lot of emphasis on how do you move your feet, how do your knees move, and how much grounding do you have at the end of the move. And as we move into the more advanced katas, we're going to start seeing that some of this kind of starts to come together, and hence the idea of we came back from Okinawa with a whole bunch of ideas on how to improve our kata overall. Okay, so let's get started. Shisochin. When we yoi, obviously kink the knees, breathe in and out, and it's kind of non-audible because we're not doing a breathing kata. Bring the arms through the center, open up as per usual. Small things to worry about. One, the hands are properly aligned. We shouldn't see one hand forward and one hand back, or one hand higher, one hand lower. Try and have the hands properly aligned. The next thing, the pinky is slightly in. A lot of people tend to overdo this and they start having their hands flatter and flatter and flatter, and eventually it looks like they're doing their kata with their hands perfectly flat. So the hands are nearly on the vertical, and there is maybe 5% turning on the pinky side, a little bit of rotation. Elbows in like Sanseiru kata, knees bent, knees over toes. When the hand comes back, 1, 2, 3. Don't overdo the wrist. Okay, so this is kind of one of those things where we started seeing people doing things like this, and that's too much. We want just a little bit of wrist at the end of the movement. Kikugawa sensei likes focus on each movement. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not the sporty version, which is not this version. 1, 2, 3. Focus on each technique. All right, so there's that focusing kind of theme. We move through, same thing, move through, same thing. 1, just fingers to the front and press the palm heel up slightly, and then that theme of as my foot grounds like Geksarechi, where I chamber, same here. As I am grounded, my hands are finishing. Next movement, 1, 2, 3. The focus that is often neglected is the pulling hand. So make sure if you have good shape, correct arm position, correct head position, correct chakugan. 1, 2. Now, I tend to teach, as in my dojo, that this hand kind of creeps up a little bit and you're doing the rotation version that you see amongst certain practitioners of Goju Ryu karate. But we need to kind of go back to more of a arm strike. It's not an elbow strike. Most people do elbow strike in Biyuchi and they're lifting their arm up too high. It is this section of the forearm that is doing the strike. The head turned onto the shoulder and the chamber hand, fingers up. Please don't do it with fingers down. This is okay if you come from a different school, but if we're making corrections for OGKK, then our palm is up, please. So, finish, finish. There is no pause, no stopping here. Finish this, the next move finishes on that arm strike. Okay? 1, 2. Make sure, touch, go. I'm going to do it from the other side for you. So, once my foot lands, touch, go. Please don't do a massive block or a plain straight block. It is slightly inside, and try and get your hands to finish together. And a subtlety, something that most people will not pick up if they're not aware of it, is that as the hands finish, you load that front leg. Okay, so there's a subtlety here. It is not a massive exaggeration on the end, please. So there's a subtlety of loading onto the front leg, and you run through all 4 directions. So first one, touch and go, prepare, touch and go, prepare, touch and go, prepare, touch and go. Mind small details, thumbs sticking out, fingers spread apart, and leading with your fingers. You want to lead with the palm heel strike. You want your thumbs in and your fingers tight. Okay? Same on this hand. Thumb in, fingers tight, and finishing next to the leg. Please don't finish behind or in front. Straight down, please. The next 2 parts are exactly the same as Giksarechi and Giksadeni, the only difference being open hand, kick, land, elbow. Avoid twisting the body, please. Between the 3 of us, we can't agree on how we want the speed to go. Generally, turns are a little bit faster and then you have a slower movement. But I think it's better just to have focus and focus. So it may be that focus, focus, and then the ki. Moving from there, changing direction, please make sure you cover your body straight up. And again, that subtlety of loading onto that front leg as you finish the technique. Please don't overdo it. Also, don't show a big up-down movement. More of an straightforward, generic elbow strike forward. I'm going to do it this way for you. So if we're here, as you turn, sit on this leg, pull, open, and nice posture. Keep your back straight. Step down, straight up. Avoid dropping your hands. Just concentrate, pull up, and then touch and go. We've covered everything there. And then the last part, obviously, with all these movements, like Cypher, where we were going through on the elbow, or Seiyunshin, Shisochin, feel that hand going down, kind of cutting on the inside of your arm as you do the technique. Last move, step, turn, touch, go. All right, let me do that one more time. Turn, touch, and go. And then finish the kata same as before. Don't raise the arms too high, and then move. Okay, so general themes for Shisochin. Sanseiru, again, we only touched on it once or twice during our training. So the themes are going to be constant themes from the lower kata. So starting off again with the bow, the yoi, slight kink in the knees, controlled in-out movement like Sanshin at the very beginning. Focus on each movement. Show the punch and the pullback. Turn. Together. Don't go too far out. Don't go up and down. Open the hand. And like Seiyunshin, imagine somebody's arms here. Just turn the hand and stop. So just 1. Turn, very important. Pull down the arm. Pull down the arm and the thumb runs on the inside of the arm. 1. Finish. Nice straight arm. I'm just going to move back so we've got a better shot. The next movement, down, slight bend, strike, and where in the past we have straightened this hand, we're now going to keep that position. That hand is going to stay there. As we kick, relax, lift the hands slightly. Please don't make it into a separate movement. Just relax to allow the legs to come through in a natural way. Once we land, stop, stop, stop. Finish each technique as you go. And once you finish each technique, once you touch down, touch and go. And we're going to have a fast turning block. Sometimes you may even hear that they say the block must go more sideways, like a yoko uke, sideways block, rather than a very big looping round block. Gonna go kick, touch, and go. As the foot grounds, focus. Finish, don't rush, and repeat. And that takes us to our fourth one. Posture in the next 3 movements is important. Tend to see a lot of people going and the posture is bad. Try, work that when you bring your arms back, that you try sit as down as possible. Through, down, straight up, and slow. 1, 2. Center. The Gyakuzuki arm is longer than the Urazuki. Okay? They're not equal. One is longer, one is shorter. Timing from Geksurani was slow, medium, fast. We're going to have the same timing, but in reverse. So from here, after the kiai, fast, medium, slow. Move, punch with the kiai. Bring the feet back, shift so you end up in a good Sanshin Dutch. Okay, last move of the kata. The general theme is going to be the same. Touch and go once you get to your end point. Please remember that there is a process of learning this where you swivel and step through and you build it very slowly until it's a natural movement because you're turning over a large area. And I'm moving around. 1. A lot of people need to understand twist, step through, hands. This is okay for learning, but you really want to get to the point where it is twist, touch, and go. The moment I touch, I go. Don't have your hands going on a 45-degree angle. I sometimes see people doing this. For our school, we're going here, and the common ground for most people will be that this hand from Seiyunshin is this hand, and this hand from Seiyunshin is this hand. So we have that commonality again. That's that like general trend. Touch, not too high, and down, and bow. So this will be Sanseiru. Obviously the kiais are still on the 2 double punches. Concentrate on your posture. One of the most important things is your Yumi-Undo is designed to help improve your overall posture. And if your posture is bad, then usually you're either not doing some of the exercises in the Yumi-Undo. Exercises like this, this are all designed to help you drop and increase the range of motion in your shikodachi, but also to keep your posture. And so those exercises are critical. If you're not doing them and you're not doing them correctly, you're not improving your flexibility in a dynamic state. Okay, let's move on to Seipai. Kink the knees as we go. The first thing that is important is that this hand must touch on the inside of that arm. They're touching again on the inside of the arm, and it must be on the front side of your body. It doesn't help to touch on the back side of your body. It needs to be there. The next thing is this hand is not coming down vertically, but is coming down on a 45-degree plane and then tightening. Don't drop the hand too low. The hand shouldn't finish low like the shoulder. If anything, slightly higher. And watch out for overdoing the bent wrist. See some people going and then stopping like this. This arm needs to be a little bit more extended. There is a slight kink and there's a slight kink. Flat, ideally in the surface, in the middle of your sternum. Okay, so touch, drop, focus. Stay down as much as you can. Thrust out, elbow. Important part here is that the backhand must crank to lift the front hand. It's the backhand cranking, that cranking motion, and getting here, that is important. Okay, lift the elbow through, 1. On the inside. Next movement, 1. Don't make it a big block. Catch over and avoid too low. It must finish higher up, and this is going to be a theme for what I call kake uke, all right, in later kata. So 1, 2, it finishes about the same height as your shoulder. Hand nice and back. As you pivot, the wrist stays bent. Strike. This hand out and slightly in. 1, 2, 3. Watch out for too high, watch out for too low, and definitely not bent. Straight. Keep your height. Touch. Go. The moment, touch, and the hip, go with the punch. All right, so think of kagezuke, hook punch, to the side, short. Hurricane like cipher. 1. Don't let it finish perfectly straight, slightly angled. Touch, 2, open, plane. So 1, 2, generic, plane. Touch, go. Come up through the inside, make a fist, pull down. Don't make this too big. So we sometimes see people going very big. This is small. It's a small movement. Hands kind of finish where they've always finished for us. The cranking hand, 45-degree plane, pulling down. You're breaking an arm, you're pulling down. This hand is pulling up. All right? It is not forward and backwards. Up and down. Please remember that this is Seipai, not Kururumfa. 1. Then, as you go, round the head and strike. So, one hand over the head and literally over the center of the head and tightly into the chamber. Block, stop, focus. The details in Seipai are really, really important. I'm going to do it at a 45-degree angle. So My hand position is all in one line. The palm heel, this palm on one line, and I'm in a Sanseiru Dutch. And this line is not on the outside fully. It's just breaking the line. And it's on the ear line maybe. Jot, this is not too high. When we step, the subtlety of the step is that we're going through the center. This arm is going to come into the center, and then it's going to push out, and this arm is going to pull out. It's not just a plain downward motion. There is a subtlety of pulling and pushing. It's so small because you're literally going to move your arms about 1.5 inches. Do not let your wrists pass each other. So we don't want palms on top of one another. That's too big. We literally, from here, want our wrists on top of one another. And this is solar plexus and parallel to the floor. And this is a little bit lower, maybe belly button, parallel on the floor. Sometimes the spacing is said to be 1 fist in between, sometimes 2 fists. Okay? The detail on the next movement is the foot sweep, the turn, and into the chamber has to happen as the foot sweep happens. And then as your foot lands, it's touch, go. Hands go down, parallel, flat fist. Please do not show ippon ken, just straight down, and eyes looking straight. Please don't look down. So we're here, and slightly deeper drop, move, and stop. And again, that 45-degree block from Geksare-ichi. Both left and right sides, same principle. When we finish the second one, touch, go. Don't make this into a massive wind up and release, but you do have to have something. So imagine your hands just slightly behind you, and as I draw this in and I lock down, I hit. Step, hit, and focus that your knee goes into your calf and you stop for a split second. So the tendency is to rush this and to lose the focus. So you tend to see people going, and I'm guilty of this, one, and straight away into the next move. And there needs to be a focal point for a split second. So from here, stop, stop. As you turn, the hand comes out, stop. Don't rush the next couple of movements. So what tends to happen? Fast, fast, fast. Stop. Pivot, move, move. 1, 2. Pivot, 3. The subtlety is that the arms cross as you get to here. Now, kick, land, punch. Let me do it from this side. We're here. Kick, land, and punch. The punch extends and then comes back slightly. So it extends a little bit and comes back. And this hand with this hip, as the foot lands, 1. Eyes up. This is where we ki-ai. First ki-ai in the kata, and this is where the ki-ai. Yes, I know some of you have grown up doing ki-ai here. We want the ki-ai there, please, for both the short punches. Like Sanseiru, fast block, and it's literally touch, go. 1. The other place you have a similar movement, Geksare-ichi, from movement 3 to movement 4. Same mentality. I am moving in and I'm blocking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then last movement, pull like Seipai. And now Don't confuse them. Don't pull like this. You can pull more like this now. It's a different move. Shisochin, forearm, elbow. Two different moves. Different move. Okay, so we're here. One, very important, is down. Make sure, sit and try avoid looking down. Body up straight, sit, clear, and the clear is incredibly subtle. Just out and in. 1 inch for both hands on either side of that center line. 1. Up, and like exit edge, open. Then bow. This will probably be the end of this video because it covers the intermediate katas in the black belt syllabus. In other words, the katas from Shisochin, Sanseiru and Seipai within our OGKK type framework. I know in some schools you may do Shisochin as a 4th or a 5th dan kata, and you may do Sanseiru as your 2nd or 3rd dan kata and Seipai somewhere in between. But in our school, we run from Shisochin at black belt, shodan, Sanseiru for our nidan, Seipai for our sandan. And these katas are important. The vast majority of young black belts fall into this category. There are more black belts who are shodan, nidan, sandan than there are probably collectively yondan and godan and even rukudan. And then there's an entirely different segment for everybody who is 7th and 8th dan, nanadan and hajidan, kyudan and judan. That's an even smaller populace, smaller group. So these katas are important. It's important to understand to do the kata correctly and to not lose your rooting. And this rooting is part of the signature of where you come from. And it's important to have that. You can tweak the kata slightly for competition, but please don't lose the essence of the kata. Try and remember where you come from when you go to a kata competition and show that. I had a coach when I was a competitor. He used to freak out when a Goju practitioner did kata from Ryu in particular. That was the flavor of the month back then. And he used to be like, why? Why can't you win with our Goju katas? They are magnificent and brilliant and everything else. And unfortunately, sport, especially kata, tends to have flavors. And right now, the flavor of the month will be katas from a different school, and Goju's not so popular, and maybe Shotokan's not so popular, but maybe some kata from Shorin Ryu and from Shito Ryu is maybe more popular. It's their turn to shine. In due course, maybe the wheel will proverbially turn, and we'll get another turn somewhere along the line there. All right, that is it for this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're used to seeing videos where we're doing lots of fighting and sparring and bunkai, I'm sorry. These are corrective videos. These are videos to capture the corrections we had when we had our last trip to Okinawa about 2 months ago, and to make sure that the students can benefit from me not forgetting what I actually learned. And already I'm having to think rather hard about what I learned and not resetting to my default. All right, having to actually actively work on creating change. And that is how we move forward. Thank you very much. Sayonara.